Rosalind had grown up in the church. Her mother, a deaconess, and her father, a pastor, had raised her to believe in the power of faith. Every Sunday, she stood in the choir, her voice lifting praises to God, a voice so pure that the congregation often sat in awe. But at 18, everything changed. Rosalind fell in love with a boy who whispered promises of forever. In her innocence, she believed him, and when she found out she was pregnant, the world she had known shattered. Her parents were devastated. The church she once called home became a place of judgment rather than grace. Whispers followed her down the pews. The people who had once applauded her voice now looked at her with pity or disappointment. And so Rosalind left her home, her church, and most painfully, her faith. For years, she wandered. She gave birth to a beautiful daughter, Amara, and did her best to raise her alone. The struggles of single motherhood weighed on her, but one thing remained: her voice. Though she no longer sang in church, she sang to Amara at night, sang while she walked, sang to soothe her own weary soul. One evening, after putting Amara to bed, Rosalind sat in her tiny apartment, feeling the weight of all she had lost. In a moment of vulnerability, she picked up her phone and recorded herself singing an old hymn her mother used to love. His eyes is on the sparrow, with tears streaming down her face. She uploaded it to social media. She didn't expect much, but the next morning, the video had thousands of views. People were commenting, sharing, and telling her how her voice touched them. Some even said they had felt distant from God, but had prayed for the first time in years after hearing her sing. Opportunity followed. A small gospel label reached out. She hesitated. Wasn't she too far gone for this? But something in her heart nudged her forward. Rosalind began singing professionally, not in grand churches, but in small gatherings, shelters, and hospitals. Her songs weren't just about God's glory. They were about His grace, His ability to restore even the broken. One Sunday, she was invited to sing at a church in her hometown. She had avoided returning, fearing the judgment she had fled from, but something told her it was time. As she stepped onto the stage, her eyes met her parents in the front row. They were older now, wearier, but their eyes held something she hadn't seen in years: pride. And so she sang. She sang for the lost, for the broken, for the ones who felt unworthy of love. And as she did, she realized something. Faith had never truly left her. It had simply been waiting like an old song she had forgotten the words to, ready to be sung again. That day, Rosalie didn't just lead others back to God. She found her way home too.